action. You researched the topic, put together a flawless run of show, booked a great guest, and even had plenty of viewers joining live. Now it's time to put your feet up and relax, right? Whoa, not so fast, future me. Don't tell me you aren't going to repurpose our live broadcast. Repurposing your live broadcast into highlight clips, audiograms, blog posts, teasers, quotes, and many other things gets more mileage out of the content you've already created. You did do all that work to have yourself a fantastic stream, didn't you? Why not make the most out of it and reach more people, boost your exposure, and expand your audience? One of the quickest and easiest ways to repurpose your live stream and grow your audience is to turn it into a podcast. And I'll show you how in this video.
Randy from Restream here.
Now, let's take a look at how to download the audio files from your live streams. Make a few edits and quickly turn them into podcast episodes. All you need to get started is a recording of your live stream and an audio editor. Recording and downloading your live streams is super easy with Restream. Your recordings are stored for at least 15 days or up to 30 days depending on your subscription plan. Click the link in the description below to learn more about our plans. If you're already in Restream Studio, you'll see a cloud icon on the left-hand side. Here, you'll find all of the recordings available to you. Find the live you're looking for and click the 3 dots followed by Download. Now, you'll have the option to download the full recording as an MP4 file, the audio files only, or the split track audio recordings. Yes, that means you can download a separate audio file for each person you had in Restream Studio once the stream is over. This is helpful for when you and your guest happen to talk over each other, the dog barks, or, and this has happened to me, the fire alarm starts chirping. No matter what happens when you're live, you can still get crisp, clean audio for your podcast. Download and save the audio file to your computer. Now, I'll show you what I use to edit these files and turn them into high quality and polished podcast audio. For this step, I like to use Descript, but there are plenty of editing software options out there, like Audacity, Pro Tools, Riverside.fm, and GarageBand, just to name a few. To get started with Descript, drag your audio file into Descript and wait for it to upload. Now, go ahead and choose Transcribe File, which will then turn your regular old audio file into essentially a Word document. As Descript works on transcribing your file, you'll have the ability to choose how many speakers talk in your audio, which makes editing that much easier, and name the individuals talking in your clip. Once that's done, we can take care of the bulk edits. First, click the wrench icon from the top bar, followed by Remove Filler Words. This option will quickly highlight and remove all common filler words, like ums and ahs, in one click. Now that's done, click the wrench icon again, and this time choose Shorten Word Gaps. Most of the time, this setting can be kept at reducing any pause in audio to just 1 second. But you can customize exactly how long you want your pauses to be right here. Parts of your live stream may not make sense as a podcast, so here are some parts you might want to add or remove. Long pauses, mishaps, or distracting noises. Your podcast audience won't get the visual cues to know what's happening. It makes for a better listening experience to remove these parts from the podcast. Live audience interactions. Especially out of context, or if you're just responding to comments without actually acknowledging what was said out loud in your broadcast. This can be very confusing for your audio listeners. If you know ahead of time that you're repurposing your live streams into podcast, it helps to do the following. Read the comments aloud before you respond. Prompt guests to describe things that they are showing on their camera. And spell out URLs, names, or websites that you're sharing. Alternatively, after you're done live streaming, you can always go back and record yourself asking the viewers questions, then edit those in just before you give the answer in your podcast recording. Live show intro and outro. Unless it adds something unique to your production or hooks the audience, we advise cutting out the pre-show banter or warm-up from the podcast version. With Descript, you can copy the intro and create a new composition named Intro, ensuring to delete the intro from your main file. Then do the same, but this time with the outro. Now, you'll have 3 separate files, your intro, main, and outro. I'll talk more about why this was important in the next section. In any case, You'll want to make sure you brand your podcast with a strong intro. Focus on a topic and interview, and close with a solid call to action and outro. Great! Your audio is polished and ready to publish for the world to hear. The next step is uploading it to a podcast hosting platform. These services offer two main functions. One, it's a central place to store your podcast audio files. And two, more importantly, it creates a podcast feed and automatically submits it to podcast directories like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and anywhere else that podcasts are available. When choosing a hosting platform, consider how much storage space and what features you get with the paid plan. How user-friendly is the platform, and will it connect to the podcast directories that you need? For this tutorial, as I said earlier, I'll be using Anchor, but the process is pretty simple and universal for any podcast hosting platform. After you've created your Anchor account, go ahead and click New Episode from the top right, followed by Create an Episode. Now, you'll want to open up Descript and export those 3 compositions we created before. To do that, click into the composition, then choose Share from the top right. Now, go ahead and choose Export from the top, followed by Audio. Leave the settings as is and choose Export again. Do this for each file, then drag and drop them into Anchor, and once they're uploaded, ensure to organize them. Make sure not to try to organize them while they're uploading, as you might run into some errors. Now, to further brand your podcast, let's create a musical transition between the 3 sections of our audio. To do that, either upload your own music or choose from the free transition section. No matter which one you choose, try and keep your choice of music consistent, so audiences instantly recognize it when your podcast comes on next. Now, go ahead and organize these transitions into your podcast and choose Save. From here, you'll be able to add a descriptive title and captivating description to hook audiences in from watch pages and publish your latest episode out to all of your channels at once. Kind of like Restream, but for podcasts. Let's go over a few more things you can keep in mind to close out this tutorial. Do prep the guests. Let your guests know the live show will also be a podcast. Again, prompt them to describe for the listening audience when showing things on camera. Ask them to spell out names and URLs where needed. Don't speak over your guests or co-host. It's natural to bump into one another's words from time to time. But if you want to make the editing process less difficult later, try to be aware of not speaking over each other or speaking at the same time as often. Pro tip, having a run of show helps here. Questions and talking points can be assigned to each co-host prior to the show. And there are precise moments where your guest should respond and everyone else will know to be quiet. Do use headphones or an earpiece. You've made sure you had an excellent webcam, an awesome mic, and solid internet connection for the live stream. So, why not go the extra mile to make sure you're wearing headphones or an earpiece? This is something that we ask our guests, as it maintains the highest quality audio and eliminates any echoing from the broadcast. That would be an editing nightmare. Don't try to do it all. Hiring a skilled and experienced producer can truly make your live stream turned podcast sound professional. They can stay off screen to watch and listen to your stream and ensure everything goes according to plan. They can monitor the live chat during the stream and screen questions for you. Or even just editing the audio with a fresh pair of ears and a different perspective, which can really streamline this whole process for you. Do promote your podcast. Once the podcast is published, share the links to it across social media channels and add a link in the description of your live video replay. Ask people to rate and review your podcast too, because that will help generate more exposure. In future live streams, mention that your show is also a podcast and how viewers can access previous episodes. If you're hoping to monetize your podcast, you'll have to promote it to attract enough viewers so sponsors agree to work with you. If there's anything we missed, please let us know in the comments below and maybe we'll make a follow-up part 2. If you like this video, leave a like or hit that subscribe button for more content like this. As always, I've been Randy from Restream, and have yourself a fantastic stream and podcast.